Hi folks, Charlie Falkowski. Welcome to today's Process Safety Moment. You might recall in my last post, our friend T-Ray struggled to describe the simple differences between a general purpose PLC and a safety certified PLC. Luckily for you, I was able to dig into the archives and find a more acceptable approach so that you don't suffer the same fate that our friend T-Ray did. I hope you enjoy the conversation. If you have any comments or questions, please leave me a message below. Thank you and have a safe day.
We generally use general purpose PLCs, and they seem to fit the bill. They're not that expensive. How expensive is your system?
A lot of people are confused about what the differences are between general purpose PLCs and safety PLCs. So if you go back to about 20 years ago when PLCs first got on the market, it was inevitable that people would start replacing their old hardwired relays with PLC technology. Especially as companies started to embrace the concept of digitalization, it just made sense. Going from a system with no diagnostics, no digital communications, and not to mention what a pain it was to make any logic changes. Seems like a no-brainer, moving towards a system that gave you extensive diagnostics, digital communications, and a really easy interface to make programming changes. Sounds great, and it was for conventional basic process control, but not for safety critical applications, because now we have to pay attention to failure rates and failure modes. In general, a relay system is known to have about a 98% chance it will fail in a safe mode compared to a PLC, which is more like a 50-50 coin flip. But you might argue that today's PLCs are more reliable, so it has to be safer, right? Let me share with you a story my colleague Paul Gruen, who wrote the book on safety instrumented systems, once told me. Imagine you have a relay system with a failure rate of 100 failures per million hours. That's about one failure per year. Which also means that 98 are considered safe and 2 are considered dangerous for a relay system. So statistically speaking, a dangerous failure rate of 2 is approximately once every 60 years. Okay, now consider you've landed your dream job as a control system engineer with an innovative company, and their first order of business for you is to have you replace that old relay system with a modern PLC. Your PLC vendor of choice even guaranteed you his system was 10 times more reliable. Okay, so now you've essentially lowered the overall failure rate from 100 to 10. Sounds like a win-win. I mean, even with the 50-50 split with your new PLC, the safe failure rate would drop from 98 now down to only 5. That sounds awesome. You'll likely get a raise, or along with general praise from your peers. No more unplanned downtime or loss of production. Well, hold your britches there, Sonny. To be fair, we also have to look at the other failure modes. So the other half of those failures would be dangerous, meaning now we went from a dangerous failure rate of 2 with those relays to a 5 with the PLC. Doesn't seem much to us common folks, but those evaluating risk, likely your boss's boss's boss, you're now going to be exposing your plant to a lot more risk by reducing your safety performance from about once every 60 years to now once every 23 years. Uh-oh. Well, the good news is that a modern safety certified PLC is built to monitor, detect, and convert potentially dangerous failures to ensure your risk levels are never compromised and that your process continues to operate flawlessly as you design.
So, for the last 22 years, you're telling me I've not been operating safely.
Well, actually, a lot of people are beginning to realize that.
Damn! Thank you very much.